waste another one. Oh, that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. Let the future escape. Just shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. Let the future escape. think that's so overrated. Yeah, if you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation. Yeah, there's a comfort in the crawl. Now I've been on my feet too long. I know I'm strong, just looking for some solid ground, so I can start to run. I don't wanna be tired, moving so bad. I don't wanna be tired. Feels like it's my time. I don't need your light. Don't you waste your time. I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Miles past, turning back, found my track, face the fact, she a cold one. Never gonna settle for none, stay up every night till I won. Don't want a slow rise now, I'm confident opulence isn't a long ride out. When I look back now, I'm astounded. A quiet boy from old age, but always thought the world was a stage, yeah. I celebrate one last late night, my old life ain't staying.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
I'm headed to LA.
Miles, throw it on the dash. Shit, the 10,000 hours, can't let them pass. Yeah, well, I was putting time in, you was pulled up wildin'. You always had shit to say, now when I see you, it's silence. Thought I have a Grammy by 25. Commas after commas next to dollar sign, yeah. Remind myself why I'm living this life. Look at all the late nights, it'll all come in due time, yeah.
Made for the fight, for the pain and the climb, tied to the life I chose. Stay through the night, another day, not a dime. Race against time. I couldn't just lay by and wonder what I could have made mine. I'm closing on the moment, no one's gonna hold me down.
I pack my suitcase, headed out the door, I keep my shoes laced. 2,000 miles away from home, a couple dollars in my pocket, never stopped the boy before. I load my bags and hit the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back to ESL Challenger League Asia, Season 49. Rolling it back, Komodo, Konkmodo in your ears today. It's going to be a great one. I'm feeling pretty fresh, Dion, off the back of Extremes Land. I've already got to see a hell of a lot of these teams. How have you been, my friend?
I've been busy, lots of house things lately, but a lot of being able to just sit back and enjoy some great Counter-Strike. You know, the pro leagues are all back. We've got other things happening right now, and we're kind of in the middle of a league right now, which is honestly looking a lot more competitive than I thought it would at the beginning, looking in on these teams.
Man, Elfish Guy predicted it, right? 2025, greatest year for Asian Counter-Strike in history. I mean, we're already leading into it. We've had the Mongols top 8 at the major. It's kind of inspired this region. You know, as you can see, we've got a very, very heavy Mongolian conglomerate right now. This is the group standings in front of you as it sort of stands. Not much of a change in the groups from last season, right? Season 48. A hell of a lot of these teams are quite similar. The only sort of names that we can look into is Just Swing and Fengda. They came in from ESL Open rather in seasons 50 and 51, so there's some teams to keep an eye on, especially that Just Swing. That's a bit of a mix from some of these other teams, but you know, mostly across the board pretty standard. I think Rare Adam's going through some changes, Tyler obviously trying to find their solid roster, so as always the opening weeks of this competition is chaos.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And of course, we've got a lot of things happening in the Counter-Strike world with the Valve, you know, regional rankings and all that, the VR system coming in. So there's a lot more of a priority on the teams playing in this tournament to get these dubs as well, right? BO1s, BO3s, BO5s, all treated for the points. So the fact that these games are, you know, have more weight on them, we're getting the broadcasts happening and everything. It's getting really good eyes back on the Asia region as a whole, and putting more of a spotlight back on these players as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know, it's a region that's got so much to offer. I feel like, you know, the individual talent is there. It's just really how much, you know, chance they get on an international stage. We're hoping to see more LAN. You know, we're not sure about what this Hero League is going to be looking like leading into the major, as you said. But look, for me, you know, to have the major on GMT +8, you know, based hours, Sigma time zone, it was so nice to just come home from work and you know, watch that major in Shanghai. And it really gave me sort of a new lease on life for Counter-Strike, which is such a beautiful thing. But we'll dive into this game, Komodo. As I said, Chinggis Warriors versus ATOX. It was the obvious matchup of the evening, the one that I think is going to, you know, have the most sort of meat to it in a way. So Chinggis Warriors and ATOX. Chinggis Warriors, core 3 from IHC, controls one of the newer players. Obviously, News coming in as well. He's been part of the Chinggis Warriors roster for a little while. ATOX, they had a little bit of time where Yami and Annihilation came in and out, but ultimately back to that roster where they've got Zesta and Accuracy. If you haven't seen the Geographically Challenged on Elfish Guy's channel with Dobu, that's actually a great listen to get an eye into this team and some Mongolian Counter-Strike. But there's the Veto up on your screen. No real surprises. These teams both pretty solid on Nuke. And I guess, you know, right now with Train kind of coming into the mix and Vertigo out, it's definitely been a little bit of a different map pool, but still yet to see a heap of it change up, right?
Yeah, and I don't really think we can read too hard into the previous installments that we've seen these guys play against each other as well, even with the same 5 players for both of these rosters last time, right? It was a pretty respectful Nuke. That is the map that we're going to get for this first best of 1. For those that may be new, we do get 2 best of 1s coming in towards today, so we'll have another one a little bit later on this evening in an hour's time, which presumably will be a different map as well, Mitch. So Nuke, I think it's always an interesting one to be gathering up here for this region as well. And I mean, if we wanted to throw out what did happen about a month and a half ago now between these two teams when they played it last, it was a 13-9. So, you know, respectful scoreline at the end. But for ATOX, you know, they've more than often been getting some good victories over the Chinggis Warriors. So I wonder if today it's going to go the same way or not.
Absolutely. But yeah, of course, we've got to mention our Kadir player to watch. That's Controls. I picked him just purely on his performance at Extremes Land. I think he was quite an entertaining player to watch. He was one of those really pivotal members that, you know, if he was underperforming, I felt like the rest of the team wasn't doing fantastically. So it was nice to see, you know, a new addition to the roster. He's actually not that young. I think he's like 26 or something like that. We thought he was some young blood until we did some research into it a bit further. And yeah, he's just a really exciting player to watch. So ultimately, that's why I picked him up. You know, we we see him on the AWP mainly, but he's pretty handy with the rifle as well. So, yeah, overall, look, it's kind of that battle of where we're trying to find that second team in Mongolia right now, right? You know, Mongols are so far ahead of the curve. They're so far rest of APAC, really, right? I'd love to see right now that we've got Regali, obviously, into FlyQuest, how those two teams would match up in the current day. Don't know when the hell we're going to be seeing that. Maybe if there is like an RMR equivalent or something like that. But, you know, the Mongols should get that invite straight into the major anyway. So it'll be a time before we actually see the matchup. So for me, it's been watching how's IHC looking, how's Chinggis Warriors looking. You know, ATOX really should be kind of that like second, third in Asia. You know, Rare Atom at a point, they're probably ahead of it, but is somebody retiring? Who knows? So it's these games that we look forward to who is kind of, you know, the second, third, fourth, fifth best representatives of the Asian region in general, because the powerhouse used to be China, right? And still is, but Mongolia has been looking really, really good in recent years.
I mean, we were doing the math a little bit earlier on. It's always scary on broadcast, but what? There's like 5 core Mongolian teams in this tourney. There's, you know, 5/6-ish China core teams as well. So it's really being competitive, and that's not even including the Mongols. They're not in this league, right? Yeah. So you've also got to think of, well, they don't have this league's opportunity to claim points going in towards ESL Pro League Season 22. They're also not in ESL Pro League Season 21 because it's Tyloo and Linvision that are in that for the representatives here. So it really goes on to show that there is an opportunity for a bunch of these teams to be able to meet and get on part of these events to see the Mongols out and other teams and get that experience going into it.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time for Asian Counter-Strike Komodo, an exciting time for the evening. Happy Friday, everybody who celebrates. Let's dive into ATOX versus Chinggis Warriors. So Nuke, as you mentioned, cruising towards outside. It's going to be interesting to see any positional sort of changes here. Controls taking point. I think that's... no, it's not a missmoke. They've just got the top of hut annex. That's getting closed off. There is a little bit of a peek out, but they're just going to drop lowers and see what they can find. But it's Ariukul finding the opening shot as well, and another for E-Fire.
This is where things get a little bit difficult, however, with the battle of all of the pistols. Maybe you get a little bit of stability now coming in towards it. Kabal, that's a decapitation. And now Mitch, all on Adobu.
Dobu the man. It was great to have a real good chat with him as well. He's such a sort of humble and nice guy. But this is probably a little bit too much of a round for a humble, nice guy. Bomb planted, top site, long way to rotate around. But obviously, again, just the pistol, so we're not going to be too concerned about it. I like the approach from Chinggis Warriors, you know, wrapping outside, going pretty fast, taking all the control, and, you know, happy after they found those picks. They just end on top side.
I mean, it's a map like Nuke. You're not going to be too far-fetched to try and save this Kevlar going into the next round if you can get an exit kill or two. Controls is down to 7 HP. You know where the bomb radius is going to explode. He's just actually been seen running away and is dead as well. So that's actually a really nice collection of kills to come for Ariukul, for E-Fire as well. Just a great pistol all in all from the Chinggis Warriors. Having the Nikes on, running it straight down, taking the duels, not scared. You do like to see that to gain some early Nuke control, especially on the T side.
Just seems like, you know, a team like Chinggis Warriors, and again, you know, hopefully we'll see a fair bit more of it in this map and the second map, but also, you know, throughout the rest of the course of the competition. It's just, they're a team that they've got some pretty high highs, but some pretty low lows as well. And I feel like IHC is similar. It seems like ATOX has been the team to kind of show a little bit more in recent times. So it's, just challenging because, you know, we obviously had the change where we did see Annihilation and Yami in there for a little bit too, but, you know, Annihilation having that little issue, stepping away from the roster. So, Yami's found himself obviously over in IHC. Annihilation not playing at this point in time, whereas News, he's just going to pick up some frags. Happy days, MIQ is going to drop him down, but that's one of those rounds where it's just basically cash money, bomb planted low up, easy pickings.
Yeah, it's good to see that it is the back 10 as well, going for those frags to get the extra money into your pockets. Just on the tail end of this one as well, you know, technically head-to-head, ATOX are the favored team in towards this matchup right now. So for the Chinggis Warriors, if they're able to steal away some early rounds and really get a good fine-tuned grasp on how they want to attack on this T side, well, they could come in for a good little upset in towards this one. You talk about high highs, low lows, big consistency. We've seen a lot of great consistency from ATOX lately, besides that final that you did. On the flip side for the Chinggis Warriors, though, they've really been struggling against teams like Tyloo and Linvision and even, you know, you stretch it back to the Huns as well, and ATOX previously. So they're on a bit of a slump, I would say, starting to peak a little bit better. So this is the series for them to bring some stability. And if you want to start to talk about stability, coming into round number 3 after the pistol and the anti-eco, this is where you want to try and get your foot rolling.
Absolutely. After this round, I might dive in a little further to, you know, EXO, who won Extremes Land. Just about their opponents that they actually did overwhelm on their way in, but it's a top side hit. Rooks is going to be dropped down by Dobu. So a nice defense here for now. Nice little swivel on a dime. News has found some pretty good positioning, but spotted out by accuracy. So it's a pretty lackluster looking offense here. Controls.
Yeah. Again,
our Kadir player to watch. He's going to be found anyway. So yeah, not a hell of a lot there from Chinggis Warriors. I felt like they were maybe a little bit slow off the back of that top hut molly. So not a hell of a lot there. And ATOX, they pick a round with 4 alive.
One of the scariest things for me when it comes to ATOX on a map like Nuke as well is when you've got MIQ with this AWP. If you're not figuring him out where he either is and off-putting him, or you're looking around for where Cabal might be sitting or Dobu might be sitting, you got to bait out a lot of their utility, right? So if we're thinking about the Chinggis Warriors and we're thinking about are they dotting I's, are they crossing T's with all this utility on the starting of the T side to off-put positions and to draw out this CT utility, if they're not doing that, they're going to struggle quite a little bit. So bit of a standard default setup at the moment for ATOX. Cabal spotting over at the ramp, or overlooking out is nothing too untoward at the moment for ATOX, and it doesn't need to be Mitch, honestly. You got 2 AKs, the rest pistols coming in for CW.
Maximum chilling. Said Controls, you know, he is the man that I think can do it with an AK here, but again, a hell of a lot to overwhelm here. Have managed to slip the wickets. It's been an interesting sort of shift with ATOX here. It's either MIQ or accuracy AWPing. I think they are trying to sort of get MIQ to be the primary AWPer a little bit more regularly. But it's always good to have, you know, 2 players that can do it quite comfortably. But this Control they've got down ramp, they're going to have to spot out old mate Cabal in position.
Just thinking about it as well, if you can draw attention away from him right now as Dobu, it could be gold.
Really slowing down towards Megaton here as well. Not overly convinced. 40 seconds, they got time to do it, but accuracy is finding Rooks outside, so that might kind of force their hand a little bit. Look at the positions of these ATOX members. Komodo, now Cabal, maybe walking into the negative. It's going to be E-Fire to take him down. That's one of those AKs. Spotting out the member towards Decon as well. They can move on down, but great peek from Dobu.
Yeah, a little bit of immaturity potentially from Controls to go back onto the line after spotting him out, and with the bomb starting to get planted from Nuke in the open, and it will get denied. Time is an issue right now, Mitch.
Yeah, bomb dropped in a really awkward spot, so E-Fire is going to have to be the hero, but MIQ takes him down. Easy breezy, beautiful. Well done from ATOX. 2 alive, you know, they felt a little bit of pressure. I like Chinggis Warriors really slowing down the time to bait Cabal into that position there, but again, ATOX, you know, they seem to be pretty locked in. So it's just going to be the full eco now for Chinggis Warriors. So I'll use that time to just touch on. So EXO, their ultimate team to win. They were the Middle Eastern, North Africa rather, qualifying team. And they were just full of individual sharpies. I think they had like a Ukrainian, a Saudi Arabian, an Iranian member. Like they were really sort of a diverse roster, right? And a roster that got put together 3 weeks before the event. So their run was, they had pretty easy, you know, Faded Rise, which is former Cat Evil. They've played in, you know, plenty of Chinese tournaments. 13-3, dominated on Dust 2. 13-3 against the Thai side, Real Original, which we used to see in like Alpha Red and Lucid Dream. 13-3, Dust 2. Chinggis Warriors was the only one to actually take a map off them. It was 2-1. And then they ended up 2-0ing Rare Atom, who looked pretty limp, I will admit. And 2-0ing ATOX as well. So both these teams did meet their same fate from the Middle Eastern side. So I think it's an interesting sign of the times in Asian Counter-Strike that it's, again, you know, not just going to be these quote-unquote major regions inside Asia dominating the rest. Even seeing, you know, like a Vietnamese team, a Thai team, a Korean team back in competition. You know, it's just, again, Counter-Strike's back. You know, there's no longer this domination of Valorant, right? You know, orgs are stepping away and they're looking to reinvest their coin elsewhere.
That's what excites me about a team like God's Reign in a tournament like this as well, to see what damage that they're going to be able to do from a region that doesn't get to spread their wings too much.
Definitely so.
But we'll get back in towards this one as we've got another gun round to be presented. Chinggis Warriors, I feel like they need to have a little bit more standard momentum with the utility and not over-expect positions of ATOX as well. You know, that round in the previous gun one, you smoke off decon, you block off that frag, you potentially even do get in the plant and it's a different round. For Rooks at the moment, bit ill-advised to run through the Molotov when you've got Controls losing his life. News is down as well. This is where things get quite problematic for the Chinggis Warriors.
Yeah, absolutely. And with MIQ getting that opening pick, sure, he gets dropped by Rooks, but obviously he's still pretty low too. So Secret Control, a little bit awkward. Bomb still back in lobby, so they're very, very separated here. And yeah, with Dobu taking this lobby control, I don't think there's a hell of a lot of positioning. Oh, never mind. No, sorry. Rooks got down vent. I thought he was still in lobby. Great shot back. Maybe this round's on.
If you've got a need for an individual to go above and beyond, I mean, starting with a lesser weapon and upgrading to that AWP, getting 2 kills in the process of this engagement, it's not a bad way to do things. Equalize 3 versus 3. Footsteps heard down in the lower tunnels, however. Should be onto Cabal here.
How are you cool to pick up Dobu too? So yeah, just onto Zesta and Cabal. The experience of Daddy Cabal having a look over. Does put out 1 megaton, but Rook should be able to get the trade at the very least. No, it's Ariukul. And yeah, for Zesta, I think this one might be a little bit too much to overwhelm. He's going to give it a potential crack. He is over towards Decon, but it's going to be Rooks to take him down. So a great response there from Chinggis Warriors in a round that I wasn't really expecting them to find.
Yeah, that's massive. That's a 5 versus 3 conversion from that deficit, surviving with 3 as well. Great pass mark to make sure you're getting a little bit of that economy management coming in as well. You're starting to chip away at the money that ATOX do have presentable, which is still pretty damn decent, right? With the stringing of 2 that they'll manage to find. You got M4s across the board. You got the AWP back in MIQ's hands. Helpful handing of utility. The kits, which are always going to be a need on a map like Nuke, I do say. So we'll see if there's going to be any shenanigans afoot for the Chinggis Warriors nice and early on, though. Cabal changing things up and shut down.
Yeah, going solo in a moment like that ain't exactly the wisest. He's had a bit of a rough start here. Ariuk also finding Dobu. So this is Chinggis Warriors just putting the accelerator down. And unfortunately, sorry, ATOX, you don't get to play this round. No. He's going to have to save, and accuracy also going down. So Zesta's going to save the M4. And I guess that's when we start to have this money conversation, Komodo. Like, one thing that I'm sure you're picking up on, you know, in CS2 is how how much of a struggle, sorry, the CT-sided economy is. And
it's always been a problem. But
yeah, but you're worse now in MR12, right?
Correct.
You know, you have a bad start. It's really, really punishing.
Worse in that regard, but also in the new tendencies that a lot of teams are finding themselves coming into, you know, the new movement mechanics, the way that the guns are feeling, the way that things were feeling, you know, pre the movement prediction versus the movement prediction now as well, right? That's always going to be a touchy subject, you know, leading into the next couple of little weeks, I do feel. Bit unfortunate for Rooks that he does die at the end of this one and EFire on 1 HP. But
when does EPL start? It's not too far off. So EPL's in a month. We've got Cluj and Poker in 20 days. And we've got Cato coming up in 5. So the last Bounty Finals, that's been on. That's been interesting. But obviously that's all online. So, you know, you can't really think too much into that. Cato's going to be the big opener, I think, for a lot of us. Especially with, you know, all the changes that are bloody happening. Going to see... you know, Rops in Vitality, you're going to see bloody Spinks into Mao, Shuhei's left. God knows what's happening. So that's when the real exciting Counter-Strikes are really going to kind of kick off for the year. And why it was so nice to have Extremes land as well.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of priority right now on Zesta for this round to really get activated. I'm looking at it, and I wouldn't have minded seeing the gun potentially in Dobu's hands, for example. Not doing too bad on the fragging department at the moment. But hey, Zesta is the one that survived with the gun, so we'll give him benefit of the doubt. News is quite low. Controls, you know, this M4 can chunk him down as well. So there's an opportunity here for ATOX. Just comes down to what Zesta can do around this outer red box.
Yeah, I think EFI is ready for it. So pretty unlucky there for Zesta to be tagged up so low. He will be able to get out with a kill. So main factor here is, you know, Cabal's got some Kevlar to work with. Realistically, though, Dobu and MIQ not with a hell of a lot. So it's going to be pretty heavy lifting for ATOX to pull this round out. But the damage that they've done so far makes it definitely winnable, a prospect.
I mean, I'm looking at the utility that CW have, right? 2 Molotovs, 2 HE grenades. If you're just posturing back up for a good clearance at the moment, whether it be top side or bottom side, you're up against pistols, you're clearing close quarters. A lot of that utility actually does the job for you as well, right? Standard CT vent molly, standard top hut molly, flashes on out. It wouldn't be a bad idea as long as you're clearing all of your corners, but they got to play silent factor. They're going to go down secret. They're going to go towards this B site. And eventually, it probably might even be a 5-man retake for ATOX at that point in time.
Yeah, and look, at that point, it's, you know, worth a shot too, right? You know, these members are low, 15 seconds. There's going to be a bit of a sweat. I think a few members are going to try drop down to vents nice and quickly. So, Chinggis Warriors, they've got to get into their post plants nice and quickly. Otherwise, it's going to be a tough one for them to hold.
not the greatest plant in a scenario like this. I mean, it should be containable with the AKs they've got.
Yeah, it's just onto accuracy to see if he can hit that shot, baiting out the AWP as well. So already an information pull. We've got one in Dobu outside. Great shot there from News to drop accuracy. So I don't think they're overly keen. Maybe they're just trying to strangle here. The smoke, the utility they have towards Mega makes it really, really solid. So it's just going to be onto MIQ and Cabal to see if they can pick up any weapons here. And so far, it's not going to look like it. So ATOX have made the wise choice. Brooks has ripped off a couple of members. So it's just the AK and the M4 into the next round. ATOX will take it seriously a little bit more into what will be the ninth.
Yeah, you upgrade your, your survivability factor here for ATOX in the next few rounds with, you invest into the last round with all the utility, all the weaponry. You're taking one M4 from that round. You're taking one AK from this round, right? So we'll add extra utility here, a kit as well. That's something that I noticed in that previous round just then, Mitch, that Zesta has that M4, right? He also had a kit. So if there was a little bit of utility, they potentially could have even gone for more, a bit of a retake. So it's a bit of a blessing in disguise for the Chinggis Warriors that going down that lower side makes it a little bit more difficult to fend off against a potential retake. This round is a really important swing one, however, for ATOX to win, because if they lose this one the way that it starts, it could spiral down.
At least holding on. So accuracy gets one back. Same with Zesta. They are making it work so far. But again, it's going to be that bomb drop very, very quickly. No, Cabal left high and dry there. So all left on to controls. Akadia player to watch who hasn't had an opportunity to do a hell of a lot so far on this T side. Maybe the right eye peak, but no, MIQ is going to be able to get him. So very clean round there from ATOX, and an important one going into the 10th now, Komodo, because that's what I talk about with the economy game now, right? You know, Chinggis Warriors have had so many rounds to build up their cash. They should have buy on buy for a little bit longer, whereas ATOX, you know, this is the first time they've really kind of had a solid chance, and it was off the back of saving those two rifles in the previous round. So they've got a decent position here now.
Well, that would have been the reset for them had they lost that, right? Lost bonus money coming into their pockets. You got to go back to the eco. You're losing the half. How many more rounds are you considering going over to the Chinggis Warriors at that point in time? So that round there, if they're able to convert this one now by given the chance, they'll tie things up and they might be able to get back in towards this half. I think just maybe he was spotted on that cross too.
He definitely was. I don't know if accuracy spotted them back though, but that's a good shot from News. Cabal has just been getting absolutely abused here, so they're going to get the flash in. But great hold from Dobu, able to find that through the smoke, so that's a good bit of calling between accuracy and Dobu. Accuracy also managing to actually get away with one before he goes down to Ariukal in that molly. So that's a great bit of teamwork there from ATOX, especially after losing Cabal so early. He's been a bit of a liability here on this B rotator from the ramp position.
It's so cheeky that he manages to find one within those flames at the moment to give the team a bit of breathing room as well in this 3 versus 3. Start to reset and position MIQ's AWP where you want. They've got a really advantageous duel at the moment, actually, right now against eFire. Galil, no utility, can really only hold one angle and get overwhelmed. So now the advantage for ATOX.
Out onto the site. Using Ariukal, Molotov up, but MIQ. Nice and easy. Well done. Again, great timing, great proactivity from MIQ. ATOX, these last couple of rounds have been looking much, much better. And again, you know, even with Cabal not kind of putting up the best numbers, I do have to give him credit for that round, maybe 2 rounds ago, I think it was, where he got the 2K from the double doors down on B. But outside of that, you know, it has been really the other 4 members of ATOX doing much more of the heavy lifting, especially in accuracy, Dobu, and MIQ. So reset for Chinggis Warriors. They'll only save for the 1, and then it'll be an all-out brawl into the 12th. But ATOX, they're coming back.
Yeah, it's figuring out a bunch of these tendencies of the Chinggis Warriors as well that they've, you know, done in the last couple of rifle rounds on the eco round as well. How the utility has been pivoted for CW. A lot of it being held for a post-plant scenario when you're dropping down the vents and such. So you start to piece a lot of these ideas together as ATOX just in this free gimme round. Mitch, 5 alive, not really much damage done except to Cabal there. ATOX take the lead going into the last round of this half. And this is the benefit, right, of winning that reset round. You start to gain your momentum, you put your opponents into an eco, and you make their last round of the half a little bit more stretched as well with the margins. A Galil, lesser utility, T-side nuke, you need that util there.
Alrighty. So what's the approach here for the final round of the half? How's it going to be taken? Usual sort of bits and pieces again. Chinggis Warriors. Wall of smokes outside. That's been where their success has been found for the most part. Walking in now. Oh, that's really awkward on the timing. Who's going to win that duel? It's going to be Zesta in the end. Accuracy now gets a bit of a spot through the smoke. A couple of warning shots, but on the top of the hut is going to be a cheeky little member in Rooks. So he's able to find that opening. So a trade out nice and early, 4-on-4.
It's going to be a crucial engagement in the next few, though. Dobu already getting a sinking feeling that they've pivoted all the way across. So it's going to be a heads-up plays. Zesta below, who only has a bailout flash at the moment. Wouldn't even be surprised if he tries to escape. But now that Kabal's lost his life as well, Mitch, this makes things a little bit more strengthened for CW to just park it for a next couple of 20 seconds. Let ATOX really draw out utility, lose positions around the map.
Dobu's timing could be pretty big, though. I don't think they've hard cleared it. If he gets this catch, if he gets this info, there's the call. MIQ, he's got numbers, he's got call. And Dobu can just walk all the way around. It's A-OK, though, Komodo. They can drop away. MIQ up into heaven. He can leave Zesta inside the vents. This should be Dobu. Easy breezy. He's going to be able to pick up the first of the controls over towards the side. Has to clear it with the shoulder. Another frag. And that's the half. Nicely done. Well played from ATOX to find the comeback. Is it going to be enough, though, as they move on towards the T side? And we're back. Not a bad little resurgence there from ATOX after Chinggis Warriors did very much get the jump on them early. But as always, will the T side pay dividends or will it be a bit more of a challenge? It's been eyes on Dobu for me. And MIQ also swapping over the AWPing on the T side. A bit more challenging on Nuke Komodo, but again, Chinggis Warriors will have to put the pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they did too bad on their own T side to be able to give them enough of a breathing room coming on to the more favored CT side of Nuke. So the pistol route is going to be quite important, and its accuracy sets up a bunch of this utility for the ramp control. Molly might not even be needed at the moment to overwhelm News, but getting away with one and a trade out there from controls is not bad.
Not bloody bad at all. Good little response. MIQ, though, and Dobu getting a couple of picks, and those are the guys we've been talking about, right? MIQ also finding another. Very nicely done. It's going to have to be on the Rooks to try and clutch this one out. It will be a little bit tricky. Only good thing is there is a level of separation. They can just slowly make their way through. Doors closed, though, towards uppers, so they are going to have to make a hell of a lot of sound. He has dropped. He is trying to put the pressure on, and all they need to do is wait for that double door, peeking a little bit early. Rooks! Oh! Love to see it. What a great round there from Rooks. The individual weapon to turn the tides there for Chinggis Warriors. 6 on the board. Pistol will be secured.
I mean, for somebody who started off 0-5 in this map, might have even been 0-6. Not bad. Not bad. He did hear that squeaky door open a little bit earlier and the shimmy on down the vent, so he knew that he had a 1 versus 1 opportunity on that lower site. As soon as those double doors opened, though, man, that was a sinister shot as well. And then finishing it off with the same 1 tap to the face. Not a bad recovery for the Warriors to try and make things interesting, but standard T-side occurrence here as well, right? You get the plant down, you get it down to 1 player surviving, you force up. Bunch of utility here for ATOX, couple of Galils, couple of Mac 10s. Wouldn't be surprised if things shake up here, but Mitch, there's a big green in the server for controls in the second round as well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a pretty big statement, you know, because they can just march on in. Obviously, if it's a force buy in, and there he goes. Gone. Straight down immediately, right? 4 alive. ATOX, they've got no worries at all. MIQ, he's picked up the AWP. It's going to be big pressure on EFI here. Does have the MP9, probably the right weapon to do it, to rip through that Kevlar, but Rooks, he's going to go down to the hands of Dobu. And now it's only the 2-on-2. They have to try and play the distance here. Ariukal will be walking in on the flank, but man, this is tough.
Absolutely. And AWP, though, in this point in time for MIQ, if he's not on the right angle, I mean, they could certainly finish him off. A missed shot. Could exactly see what happened to controls. That's information at the moment.
Still got plenty of time to work with. 1:06 left on the clock. MIQ rotating around. Not going to be ready for it at all. So now AWP recovered, but obviously the bomb's gone up top site, and they do not know at all, Komodo. They're still having a look around. Cabal, he could really bait down this timer, right? You know, 40 seconds.
They're still looking down below.
They've noticed only now they have to go up towards heaven, right? They're going to have to wrap up there or through lobby. I think Cabal should know all about it.
I mean, there's a smoke for refire and an AWP. I think you got to put more of a premium on saving that to the next round because Ariukal has the kit, but he can't get on the bomb if they don't smoke it. Oh my god.
Yeah, this is a blunder. Really, really rough. What a way as well to just sort of put the pressure on. I mean, even if Ariukal gets the kill, he's got no time, I don't think.
No,
Dunsky. Oh, man, that's rough. Really good response there from ATOX, just putting down the pedal forward to the floor over towards the ramp room. And, yeah, success.
I mean, that round is just an absolute mess. I'll be real with you. Like, you're going into that with 2 Galils and 2 Mac 10s as ATOX. You're going to see an AWP post, you know, towards the ramp room as well. You're thinking, if you miss a shot, you're getting overwhelmed by those lesser guns. Well, that happened. And then you're having a big biff down on that B site where everybody's shooting everybody with different weapons across the whole bloody map. And then MIQ steals the AWP. Well, he dies because he's trying to knife out back towards the top site where it's now planted. They spend half the bomb time trying to figure out it's not B anymore. And then there's no time to even go and get the defuse. That is just an absolute tomfoolery of a round.
Now, Komodo, I've been casting Asian CS for almost 10 years, and it's just a privilege. That's all I can say, right? You know, you just got to learn to expect these plays and these things to happen. Yeah. So it's always what makes, you know, it might not be absolute tier 1 at times, but my God, is it entertaining. But MIQ...
Hey, there's lobby control 20 seconds into the round.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right? Look at Zesta, too. Zesta's still sitting at spawn. So either he's DC'd or he's waiting for a push in towards lobby. Hell of a lot happening in this round already, too, for the Pistols.
Yeah, if it was a rifle round for CW, taking that lobby control, I would love that. You know, it gives them a lot of space around the map to really pinch on towards ATOX and make them a little bit more claustrophobic. But on a round where you've forced into it with 5.7s and you've got an MP9 now, some damage on Ariukal, I mean, it makes it a little bit difficult for them to potentially get a closure in this round.
Really trying to slow down the time now. 40 seconds. That bomb is going to be planted. Ariukal not able to take down MIQ, but he's low. Controls will find him. Dobu's got to be careful, but he is on a little bit of a tear. In the end, Cabal gets the trade. And now it's all left on the news. I think there's an AK not too far away. There's a Galil at the very least, but look, 1v3, a little bit too tricky with no kit. And even saving the Galil, I mean, look, it's more the Kevlar at this point in time, right? They got no money.
They forced into it. That's exactly right. So the fact that he's able to just get this gun out into the next round is the bonus. The other benefit would be, you know, loss bonus. I mean, he gets that now because he dies. He doesn't even take Zesta with him. He'll escape the bomb radius. Round, you know, will end before the bomb even explodes. So not bad from ATOX. The biggest thing, though, for me, Mitch, in a round such as that, ATOX didn't overextend positions without a quick immediate trade. I think them already figuring out those sort of mechanisms, you know, early on into this T-side half as well, is really going to be a good strength for them to try and close out this map. You're looking at the eco here and double digits for ATOX. You're looking at, you know, 1-2 gun rounds, and that's map done.
It's already feeling that way, I suppose. The dangers of that CT side, you know, it's meant to be the benefit on a map like Nuke, a map like Inferno. But it is just really, really tricky. So Zesta, hell of a lot of information on him. Controls, great shot, able to drop Dobu. But a quick trade out. I don't really think there's going to be too much more that they can do. Another little dink. Rooks does take one more. They've got to be careful, but again, you know, with just Rooks and E5, the positional advantage is not great. They're going to be able to get towards bottom site now.
Cabal even dinked him.
Quick shot onto Rooks. Yeah, hell of a lot of damage, as I said. Don't find another MIQ. A little bit of the savior in that round. 2 frags. 10 rounds for ATOX now.
I got a little bit worried. These pistols have looked a bit potent from the Chinggis Warriors here. They got 2 kills and the remaining 3 players were half HP each. It can get a little bit scary if you're just trying to take these dry duels against them. But inevitably, the guns will be present again for the Warriors, favoring controls going on this AWP with no Kevlar to back him out here as well. So he's got to be a little bit more careful on positions that he's playing. We already saw him got melted by the Mac 10 previously.
Another quick approach, trying to get down lowers. And also split through. MIQ gets a great opening. There's controls looking for another, but MIQ! Man, oh man, this guy's on fire. 18 and 9 right now, just ripping heads off the shoulders. The AWPer of ATOX. Zesta gets another. And yeah, Dobu really not needing to do a hell of a lot this half so far. It's just been Zesta and MIQ doing it all.
Yeah.
Ariuko all alone.
He's already sniffing him out, isn't he, at this point in time? What a
gorgeous
rounds to come out from him. I mean, the confidence, he's not scared to take these duels. He's got the gusto behind him to just immediately recognize the situation where Controls gets the AWP pick. You know, there's a little lapse in timing when you're behind that molly. Are you repositioning to get back onto the line for a hell stretch? Or are you smoking off that molly and trying to funnel them down towards the ramp? Well, MIQ recognizes there's a second that I can push and get a quick trade in this. Then immediately, you know, settle down while his team gets on B and goes for a little bit of a later lurker hunt. Really well played out from him, and this is a great reward now for ATOX's medal in this T side. Back to a half buy for CW to try and get 6 map points now.
Got to play it to perfection, don't they? They really kind of need to win this round, I guess you would say, with the half buy. Pistols can always certainly do it on a map like Nuke, but with that early damage being done, Cabal is going to take down Controls. So, accuracy clearing around. A little bit of a rotation from Rooks.
Yeah.
But again, you know, information's going to be gathered. I think that was a bit of a spot there. Rooks joins the rest of the team, and he's taken, he's hurting.
Just spotted when the smoke started to fade, coming back up the vent. So some missed timing from him for the safety margins. And in a situation like this as well, Mitch, lesser pistols, you might get 1 or 2 more kills, but it shouldn't be netting too much. Unless there's risks that ATOX take.
Hold.
Oh, hang on.
You always got to be pausing in moments like this, Komodo. News drops Cabal. So there is all of a sudden a prospect. It's forced him down lower side. And
it's a lifeline. That's what it is.
Here.
It's a lifeline for CW. Nuke's in the correct position to be able to upset things. Look, he's opened the doors with a util out. He can't double down, but Dobu's on 8.
Still not a 1 round, though. I know he has to sort of go towards that single position. Ariuko, does he give up his information? Or does he wait for the cross? Beautiful. Nicely done. Knows he's going to head back towards double door. And Ariuko can get the defuse nice and easily. So a lifeline, you know, perfect sort of summary from yourself, Komodo. because money's good now. They've established themselves a little bit to work with, a bit of loss bonus, because with only 2 map points to kind of play with, yeah, this is at least something for them.
Well, the fact that they're able to win this one with that half buy investment as well, right? Giving yourself enough to have a full buy in the next round if it goes to that map point for ATOX, or if you do win it like they've just done, well, it's the lifeline that they've been thrown to potentially equalize, to potentially still win this one in the regulation phase. So, I mean, you're looking at it, right? Everybody's got full utility. There's helms everywhere. There's one kit that they're able to get. So you'll have to just keep an eye on where Controls does float that one around, predominantly over towards the ramp room, which they change up now. They position this all back towards Outers, where ATOX have found some great success, getting across in towards Secret, stretching out into the hut when they want to, for a bit of a later lurk in towards the A site with a crunch through Annex too. So for CW, all of this in their heads, they should know the timing to stall ATOX from an A side hit.
Going for the top site now, as you mentioned it, but they had to hold on for the utility as that molly did go in towards hut now, but it looks like they're faking it out. Komodo actually heading over towards the ramp position right now. MIQ dropped very low. I love that aggression in from the side of E-Fire. Controls, though, picking up Cabal in the process. Dobu, bit of forward thinking. Should very well force Controls off the line, and it does. I don't think he's going to be finding anything else, though, as they drop down towards Megaton. So they've just got to overwhelm this single member in Rooks, who is sitting silo, creeps around, getting a great shot. Not quite the second, has to reload. Holding away for a second. Exactly. He's really, really awkward on this line now. He can move into the smoke. Dobu does find another, but again, so much work needing to be done. He's trapped behind the door. 3 on 3.
The fact that they get the kill on him on the site and pick up that HE grenade when they couldn't have blown open the smoke. This is absolutely monstrous from ATOX, Mitch. That HE grenade on the back of that kill has literally netted them 3 frags around this one.
Absolutely, and now it's all under Controls and Ariuko to see if they can recover the round. And look, they've got to go for this, right? They've got not a hell of a lot of money into the next. I mean, a save prospect to try and fight for 12 is just pretty miserable. Controls up high. They've got every single angle locked down. Yeah, Controls just has to call it and take the worst result. And unfortunately, our Kadir player to watch hasn't been stepping up as best as he could.
Legitimately, wow, what a shot from Dobu. But accuracy is who I want to highlight in that round, actually. The fact that, you know, Rooks is at the back of the site. I'm looking at the 3 team members alive. They have 2 flashes to their names, right? No utility that can flush him out. No molly, no HE. The fact that accuracy gets the kill on the other B-sided player, picks up the HE grenade, blows open the smoke, and then finds him for the equalization. They get the plant, they close out the round. That one engagement there literally nets him the closer. That is insane.
The moments we're kind of hoping for from a team like ATOX, right? You know, they've been pretty immovable on this T side. Definitely looking very, very confident. As I said, at Extremes Land, you know, we saw some moments of brilliance from them, but at the exact same time, you know, when the going got tough, the tough certainly did not get going.
Yeah.
Even though a second place result, you know, obviously they went second place at XPL to Rare Atom as well. So it's an interesting roster where realistically, you know, it could very well be the second best team in Asia, maybe third if we're throwing FlyQuest into the mix. But it just depends on, you know, how Rare Atom's feeling, how Tyloo's feeling, how's Lin Vision going to be looking with this current roster, Starry back in the mix. There's just so many things going on in this region, and I think it's just, high time to keep your eyes peeled.
My boy Jam Young back for Tyloo as well.
Oh,
you know?
bro. Man,
So
I'm
good.
pretty sure, like, you know, he tried to join bloody Tyloo's Valorant, and whatever happened, we don't know. But clearly it didn't work out, and he was back pretty quick, because even at this point in time, he's still considered a sub, but he popped the hell off at Extremes Land.
Well,
so here we go, Zesta. 1 HP.
Pretty much done. I mean, it was 45 seconds on the clock in a 5 versus 5 with utility going down, and no utility can be answered by CW. They expunged all of theirs a little bit earlier on, so these kills are just good trades from ATOX at the moment. Mitch, bomb plant down. Just Controls.
Oh, man. Well then, what do you even do, I suppose, right? That was a very, very lackluster looking CT side from the Chinggis Warriors. It was ATOX just absolutely marching their way through on the T side. What did we see? 2 rounds on the CT for the side of Chinggis Warriors. And was it the pistol too? Or I can't remember. I can't remember if we saw the pistol.
Yeah, Rooks got the was it Rooks the 1v2 on the lower B site with the Sharpie shots.
I'm bringing it up. Yeah, that's right. So Chinggis Warriors won the pistol. They lost the second round force. They did manage to pick up another round later on in a gun round. But outside of that, it was really just ATOX looking absolutely dominant. And really, that's what we should be seeing from them, right? You know, Chinggis Warriors again, IHC, the Huns, they're all teams that can definitely compete, but it still feels at this time like ATOX are very much sort of just behind the Mongols. Not just behind, but behind the Mongols in regards to, you know, who's going to sit as that second best team in Mongolia at present.
I mean, it was a great first half, you know, really combative from both of these teams as well. It just really felt a little bit more lacking on that CT side from the Chinggis Warriors. And I don't even really think that does it justice because of, you know, what the rounds present us, right? They had some ecos with these rifle rounds that were really strong from ATOX. I mean, you look at them getting the pistol, but the fact that they then drop the second round, that really just throws a spanner in the works, because that essentially means you're on the CT side with no money, you're ecoing, you're half buying, you're getting nothing working. It just makes it for a really problematic defensive side on this map.
No, absolutely, man. So anyway, it's good to see the signs that what we have seen come out there for ATOX. Really nice showing on that T-side and Nuke. But there is going to be another series around the corner, Komodo. We'll have to go through that veto process per next. Oh, no. All right, never mind. We've actually got the maps up. I love that now. I love that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But for now, have a quick break, guys. We'll see you back in 5 or so, all right?
If you wanna be my love, only gotta take it slow. If you wanna be my love, I'll show you what you wanna know.
bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil, let him let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof. Best in the game, they all know my name. Can't run now, it's too late. Got winning in my blood, in my DNA. It's destiny, it's fate. Unbreakable, unbeatable, undefeatable. I'm invincible. Unbreakable, unbeatable, undefeatable. I'm invincible. I'm bulletproof, don't ever lose. Put the evil in the devil, let him let it loose. I'm an earthquake, make your bones shake. There's no question I'm the king, I always dominate. A force to be reckoned with, better remember it. Look at what I can do, walking all over you. Incredible, it's criminal, I never lose. I'm bulletproof.
You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. Don't just stop it. Doing what you do. When I lay back, holding on to you. Ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. Got my senses here on overload. All my body is for you to hold. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that you got me wanted. Never thought that ooh. Never thought that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream. Yeah. You feel like something new. You feel like something. You feel like something new. You feel like something. I feel like I'm in another galaxy. Take my time in your eternity. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Feel like something new. Yeah. And I never thought that I got me wanted. Never thought that ooh. Never thought that I'd be saying you feel more like a dream. Yeah. Feel like something. Feel like something. Feel like something. Feel like something. Feel like something.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, Faceit.
Now, Komodo, the thing I love about ESL Challenger League Asia is the fact that we get to see a hell of a lot of games going on in a single night. We've got Nomads taking LFO, which is GR, into overtime. We've got the Huns losing to THE. We've got Just Swing beating Tyloo. The God's Reign are beating the Cube. That's probably a little bit more straightforward. Rare Atom with their coach have 13-2, negative 72C. So a lot of it all across. It's a very interesting beast, right? We get to see a hell of a lot. And right now, after seeing Nuke won out by ATOX against Chinggis Warriors 13-7 rather, we've got Ancient now around the bend, which we should be getting into pretty quick smart.
I think the thing that you've said there that makes me scratch my head the most is the fact that the Huns, who are on a decent win streak, have lost to THE, who were on a decent loss streak. And the scoreline is like kind of convincing as well. I think that's the thing that makes me question, like, oh, okay. Yep,
yeah, well, you look at some of these members, right? You know, you got Nine and Bartek. Like, obviously, you know, they may be outside of their prime, right? But ultimately, you know, it's a pretty good team, right? You know, so that's always a bit of a question mark. But again, that's the joy. That's what you watch this kind of competition for, because it is entertaining. It is meant to be a little bit all over the shop, and it's where teams kind of need to sit there and go, okay, we got to take these games nice and seriously, right? Because if we want to make that top 10, if we want to make that run to ESL Pro League, we need to pick up. So very excited to see how it all goes. Again, it's obviously super nice to have us here on HLTV. We had the LAN for the finals last year for the season 48. So again, you know, 2025, hopefully a pretty good year for Counter-Strike in Asia Pacific as a whole. And yeah, it's nice to be back starting on. So Ancient, I don't think, you know, really we're going to be expecting too much of difference when it comes to competition. You know, ATOX is probably the team to be tipped for me as it stands anyway, as what we've sort of spoken about. But yeah, I don't know, at the end of the day, it's always played out a little bit differently, Nuke to Ancient. But again, most teams pretty much comfortable on this one at the moment, as it feels like it's more part of the middle of the map pool than even like your Infernos and stuff these days.
Yeah, I was just, you know, flicking on back through the games that we've seen so far for this league as well. And it's like, there's Anubis, there's Nuke, there's Ancient, you know, there's some Infernos here and there, there's Mirages. And I'm just looking and I'm like, yeah, there's a Dust 2 as well here and there. And no one wants to play Train. Understandable.
Pretty much, yeah. We've seen a little bit of it. I think there was a stat that I saw early on. It was still whilst I was away. But there are 3 teams at Blast that picked the map of Train were teams that lost the map pick of Train. Yep. So always interesting. You know, again, the map is in a very, very volatile state at the moment with the way it's playing. I still think just from like a casual experience, the way as a CT that you kind of have to defend the A site now feels super T side dominant. And again, just how quickly the CTs can also get into like old Pop Dog, SL, super, super interesting. So I think as they change the map and slowly develop it, you know, that's what they've done for every single map. They did the same for Anubis, they did the same for Ancient. You know, you're always going to get those changes as it comes back to competition. So it'll be a lot of fun to see how it integrates over the next course of the few competitions.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Valve's next little pet project map is going to be, and what changes and what, you know, visual upgrades they want to potentially elect to do. Always fun to watch. But Ancient coming on forward, I mean, it's been one of these maps that, you know, for home teams as well, you know, we had a really early adoption of this map with good results, you know, and good feedback, I guess you would say, globally. So I always like a little bit of Ancient now as we do look to get in towards this one. I think the question is going to be, well, are ATOX going to continue a good run? Or are we going 1-1 tonight?
Chinggis Warriors, Ancient's pretty good, so I'm hoping that we do see a bit more competition. As I said, a 1-for-1 would always be nice for, you know, the storyline of the evening, but when there's so much Counter-Strike going on, Komodo, I just want a close game. I want it to be entertaining, as it always is. So as we move on in, Pistols up nice and close. MIQ leaning in with those Julies, always a little bit scary of a prospect. And Zest is going to fall away, baiting in a little bit here as Cabal. He's actually slipped the wickets here. He might have gone around. This should be a free kill for him as MIQ has just absolutely cleaned up inside mid. How's it even work? Cabal has let his team die. Zest has gone down. Finally decides to take him as MIQ should very well be finding a 4th here. But he's run out of bullets. Has to go in for the knife here. Komodo, will he get it? No. It's going to be a little takedown there from E-Fire in the end, but that's a pretty dominant pistol from ATOX.
That makes it a little bit funny, though, in the mix of it, doesn't it, when you try to go for a knife kill. MIQ, though, really laying down the law to be able to find 3 kills in that one. So ATOX pistols, I mean, they grabbed the first one in the last map. They dropped the second, but then answered back with that secondary round. So not bad. No bomb plant for the Chinggis Warriors, but they do elect to force on up. So I'll be interested to see if this little gambit is going to work a treat for them or not.
Mid control early, happy to fall away with the force in. They're just trying to bait some utility out at the moment. It's going to be a late mid pop here from Chinggis Warriors, which I don't hate. Zesta up in house. He's got the really, really long line, and he does actually manage to get a kill on the Rooks, so it's just going to have to be Cabal fighting from the lane. Very quick decimation there. They're obviously super separated. Ariukal out solo, and Controls that was throwing out that utility as well. I don't think he's got too much of a life left to live either. So ATOX walking away with 2, easy as you like. Hell of a lot of money, and they certainly set themselves up for success in this first half.
I mean, the last 2 guys, they're just super spread out, as you mentioned, across the map, but bomb down in mid as well. This is not really a map that I feel like Chinggis Warriors are going to be able to bully their way into positions against ATOX, especially if you're just trying to go into mid control. I mean, you had the lesser weaponry, of course, there with that force up, no bomb plant. You don't have any, big smokes that you put in top of house or outside donut flashes to layer down standard protocols. Feel like it would have been better for them just to eco the last round, Mitch, and play this one on the nose with getting the gun rounds up. Now you're on an eco round, which gives ATOX essentially a 3-0 start.
I love this aggression. ATOX are playing so confident. They know they're the better team. And it's really only on to Ariukal to see if he can find something with this Deagle, but MIQ's ripped him apart pretty quick. He's even actually going to go and upgrade. So all of the Rooks. And he might do some damage on Zesta, but in the end, it'll be Zesta to take him. So, again, clean as you like. Only a couple of frags. I think 3 in total so far across 3 rounds for Chinggis Warriors. And this is their time to shine now. Time to get on the board. Again, I need to see our Kadir play to watch Control shining a little bit more brightly. Because realistically, I sort of thought, I was like, ATOX the favorite. Maybe we pick accuracy. Maybe we pick Zesta. But, yeah. Chinggis Warriors, definitely I feel like I have a little bit more to show, but again, online CS is a volatile beast.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a little bit difficult to have Controls play, to his 100% capacity on the T side as well. I think we have to wait to the exchange a little bit here. Through the flames, they will fight.
Come
and
on!
some timing for E-Fire. I mean, they're giving up a lot of the duels at the moment.
Man, Kabal's got no ears in his old age. Not listening. Zesta has managed to find 1 at least for his troubles, and now he has to cross away. That nade in Donut does narrowly miss. They pulled away pretty aggressively. MIQ is going to have a little bit of work to do to try and retake this site, but does do some decent damage. News tapped around pretty low, but MIQ ultimately goes down to Ariukal. The footsteps going to be heard by accuracy as well, so surely he'll go down towards window. He does. So a much cleaner round there from Chinggis Warriors with not a hell of a lot. But I feel like their timings were pretty lucky. A little bit of a cuddle inside the smoke here for E-Fire and Zesta, who will find the opportunity, though.
I think E-Fire knew as well that he couldn't move back because it looked like he was trying to move back within that smoke and couldn't. So, like ships in the night, Zesta might be able to just sneak on to safety.
Not bad. So, yeah, really just kind of casual round there. I like the start from Chinggis Warriors. ATOX obviously with the MP9s and that, they didn't have to upgrade a hell of a lot. So as you can see where the deaths are, bottom mid, they really did get aggressive. And it was a late pop from Chinggis Warriors. They're happy to take lane control. And that has been the success for them. So another gun round ahead of us right now. Cabal's got plenty of money. So does Zesta. So ATOX really should be set for another into the 6 as well, even if they're unsuccessful here.
I'm just thinking. An AWP in possession now for MIQ2 is going to be pretty damn decent, you might think, on this CT side if he gets into a good position around mid for a bit of control there. If you get Spotto from Zesta as well, you can stall for a bit of time with this incendiary and call the audible to bring him on back too. But this pop from CW actually can be pretty potent in front of the flames.
Nicely done. Brooks getting that advantage. It's MIQ to trade it out. Good pick from Donut, stopping that sort of cross on towards the site now. Dobu getting aggressive through the CT position. Controls does get one back, but MIQ straight through the smoke again, dropping E-Fire. And now it is all really left up to Controls on an island towards this side. Has to move forward towards Temple. Flank is coming in though from Ariukal. It's taken its time, but there's one. Accuracy dropped. And now that's going to give a little bit of an information pull away, and Controls takes that control of Temple.
They've got time to play with as well. If he wants to go on through, they can potentially wrap back in towards, around spawn. And try to really just play with the timing here if you are the Chinggis Warriors. And I think they might be a little bit blessed in this one if MIQ stays on this line and allows Ariukal to get up towards it. He misses out on the shot, Mitch, but he is still alive.
Big swing from Controls. No bullets. Oh, you thought he had that right. But Cabal in the end does get it. So Ariukal all alone in the 1v1. And he is going to be able to pick it up there. So a 3K from Ariukal is what carries the team there forward. Chinggis Warriors, bit of success there. But as I mentioned, still a hell of a lot of money. I don't know if Zesta wants to drop across, though, for so many. It might just actually be MP9s. But no, they're going to force in. So maybe they just buy around the AWP. Yeah, that'll be dropped over for MIQ. Zesta can get himself an M4. And then Cabal and Dobu will just have to pick up some SMGs as well. So, I mean, look, it's not the best of buys. It's enough to sort of get them across the line. Yeah. But they might not be holding on for the lead for very long if they're unsuccessful here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, right, about what I said earlier for Controls on this AWP on this T side, right? It's not generally something that he's been able to get too often, but we'll see if he's going to be able to make some magic happen. Can't say the same for Rooks, first casualty down. And now you have a little bit of claustrophobia for the guys on this T side because they really are locked in, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely, but it's Cabal with two. Controls does get one back, still alive, still kicking, has the AWP, and that's a great shot there. Do they pick up on the fact that both members are coming through Cheetah's side, though, into the lane now? I don't think they will. Timing's going to be pretty fortunable for ATOX here at this point in time. But they push forward, yeah, and you're exactly right. No kit. I think Controls may get caught off here. The gun barrel will stick out from that position, so Zesta should get this one for free. How long, though? No, he's holding the line. Beautiful stuff from E-Fire. Great bait and switch, and the gun barrel, it was all on purpose, baby.
Yeah, too focused on that one. You can start to potentially think you can get triple think wallbang very quickly, but you are, a little bit too crosshair focused in that point in time to even consider that they might be back in the correct position at that point in time to win the round. So really well done from the Chinggis Warriors to be able to pick up another one and really block out the economy of ATOX, who have to drop down into a pretty full eco. MIQ getting a Zeus out in the mix and Zesta onto a Deagle. Yeah, you got Cabal there with some Kevlar and a 5-7 at the end, a later buy. I'd be really, really keen to see if this Zeus is actually going to do anything at all for MIQ. I do like this respect, though, from the Chinggis Warriors as well. Mitch just patiently waiting behind and Ariukal having a mental disconnect there.
Yeah, maybe. Brain switched off. And taken quickly. So that's a huge drop from Cabal. That's information onto the bomb as well. He's back in towards the cave now. He had a really quiet nuke, and now he's firing the hell up here. He might even be able to find E-Fire here as well. Does swing the line, hits the shot, has HT. He can even get in towards Cheetah here. Swinging around, he might get a third. Yes, he will. Cabal.
He's doing it all.
Rolling back the years. Absolutely solo dolo. Now again, all on the Controls and News to see what they can pick up here. News has to rotate back around into the cubby.
I mean, at this point in time, it's a 5 versus 2. It's not the biggest group up from them either. They know where both players now are. Pick your poison on who you want to flood, because if you're giving opportunity towards News for individual duels, yes, you take him out, but you've kind of done enough for Controls to maybe even win a 1 versus 3 if you can get the bomb down.
Definitely so. No Kevlar across the board. Now as they rotate up towards window, I mean, the AWP is in a pretty good position. They can play the distance, but 30 seconds. I suppose Controls has to get a little bit of a wriggle on. He's got 2 flashes to make it work. But yeah, again, a 1v3. Certainly not out of the question, especially how low MIQ is.
You kind of feel like he has to clear this, though.
Definitely does. 60 seconds, he has to get the pick. And it's accuracy. Well traded. So ATOX really kind of clinged to dear life in that round, but I can't help but feel like it was Chinggis Warriors' mistake there.
I think a little bit. You got the first opening kill, you know, that is just the Ferrari peek on towards Ariukal. Cabal buying up that Kevlar in towards the round, stealing 2 kills with the 5-7 into the AK, and then they funnel and collapse upon trading player in mid, and at the end it's a 3 versus 1 where, again, I don't really think that last duel there was too much he could do, right? You got to kind of push the cave and take that duel before you go for a plant. You don't want to be flooded upon before you get that bomb plant down, so you do understand that one. New freshie though, and MIQ has already dropped news.
Bugger. Really good sort of turn to the tides here for ATOX. You know, this could be a bit of a swing round for them to re-establish their control, take their position back nice and happily. Accuracy getting really aggressive down towards Cheetah here as well. He will think better of it. He does have support from Dobu, so he knows he doesn't have to bite off too much.
You got a 3-1 position at the moment in favor of this A side lean. You can come back towards mid, but the one player in Rooks, he's only got the Tech 9 at the moment and a single flashbang, so he's waiting on a little bit of timing and attention to be drawn away from his position. Activate a little late lurk around the map. Maybe you steal a gun away or two, and you throw a bit of chaos into the mix of ATOX's defenses, where with 50 seconds to go, they don't have really any utility here. A couple of flashes, a single incendiary. It's all going to be down to just good crosshair placement and good figuring out of an early rotation if you can possibly spot this out. Dobu confirms info in mid. I think they're going to be coming towards this B site though. Does Rooks do enough to give ATOX the idea that it's going to end at B?
Yeah, looking a little rough. Very much a slower prospect here from Chinggis Warriors. 20 seconds, and they have to go now. They have to immediately press the button. Otherwise, they're going to be saving on a round like this, which is definitely not a happy one, and that's what they've called for. They just made it happen.
Yep.
Want to take the AWP into the next round. News and Rooks, they're just going to have to force in with the techies or just leave it. But if they push in, Accuracy might actually be able to find this pick on the controls. No, he won't. Dying after time would have been a little bit rough there, but saving is also pretty much the same on the T side.
You've given E-Fire an upgrade from that Galil, actually, to the AK there as well. So the fact that the 3 of them that survive carry over all the Kevlars and a little bit of the utility, the primary rifles. You can't drop anything over to Rooks and News, of course, but they can kind of get some upgraded pistols here. Maybe they put more of a premium on utility in a round such as this one, as we just get a tech pause coming in through. I gotta say, I like the changing of pace that ATOX are doing here, Mitch. We've got rounds where they're being aggressive, taking control down, ramp, taking control in through towards mid, and then you've got rounds such as where they're pretty much just standing still. I love the changing and approach that they're doing on this CT side so far.
I did hear a tick in the chat as well, so potentially there has been some call for technical pause. There was damage dealt though, so no round reset to my understanding. So maybe just a disconnect or something along those lines as we wait for the round to re-live. But yeah, so far, it's been all good, right? ATOX dotting their I's. I always keep saying that. Dot their T's, crossing their I's.
Yeah,
that's the one that I say. To be... Sorry, I was just going to say it's been confirmed to be a TeamSpeak issue. So yeah. All good. Won't be long.
Yes, you definitely want communications to be happening nicely. Which, so far, it seems like ATOX have been doing quite well on this CT side now that they're starting to get a wriggle on as well, right? Just need to reel in a little bit of these trades. I feel like that's probably only one little misstep so far that they are getting. But I think more often than not, their patience is a good virtue at the moment. And I think one of the lacking things for the Chinggis Warriors really is kind of any sort of execute, right? We've not really seen a good setup execute with a lot of utility so far. And in this next coming round, they're not really going to be able to do that either. Saving 3 guns, minimal utility. The 2 players that did die, what are you doing? Are you getting Kevlar, Tech 9s, or a Deagle and a smoke or flash? Or are you putting more priority to set your team up that have the rifles? Because I'm thinking of this one. You really want to try and set up controls going in towards this next round. You need to have him win an AWP duel, win an opening fight, do something in this one.
Letting it slip a little bit here. Good opening shot for at least a warning sign there from controls. But again, MIQ, Cabal, they've both been playing fantastic. Look at this walk in now as well. Zestar gets the molly, but Rooks straight out. Yeah, exactly. A quick turn of the tires. Not a hell of a lot of damage. Dobu gets one, but Ariukul quick on the trade. Accuracy tries to get some HE damage down. It will hurt Ariukul a little bit, but I think this very well could just be an immediate save call for ATOX.
Might very well be. I mean, it's another great decision from the Chinggis Warriors as Cabal gets one on towards News. Maybe they do decide to go for this. A couple smokes to flash. Maybe it's a little bit too far away now. Yeah, it's all down to this hole stool right now.
Oh, he's got it.
Cabal does win it.
We're on. Rounds on.
Interesting. Okay, hang on.
Now it's all on to Ariukul. 1v3. No time in the smoke. He's going to have to try and find it. Got to have to just try and get this defuse. Oh! I love Asian Counter-Strike.
How does that work, man? That should never work. I mean, look, I'm praising the Chinggis Warriors, right? It's the second time that we've seen ATOX jiggle peeking over there, dropping an incendiary, it being disrespected by the Chinggis Warriors who get a kill and then another trade extending out to Donut, getting a bomb plant down. Great decision for an A-hit rush when you've got less utility, right? Gorgeous. But the fact that then they don't really even overextend. ATOX just get those quick kills into it, into the defuser. There's no scope with an AWP. It's just ridiculous.
I love that. It's beautiful. The fact is, really, you know, that should have gone the way of Ariukul, but
100%.
the no scope, you know, you just love to see it. So it was
it
one
should have been
left click
solidified before that.
Oh yeah. As I said, Komodo, such is Asian Counter-Strike. It is beautiful. It's a sight to behold. It's always a hell of a lot of fun, and that's why I put such a priority to spend my time watching as much of it as I can, especially getting on the mic. So, pistols out again for Chinggis Warriors. Accuracy, Cabal just making mincemeat of them. I mean, they're both relatively low, but Dobu's going to pick up the pieces. E-Fire spotted now. Not really a hell of a lot they can do. He's just going to have to tuck in the corner and hope for the best, right? Nades in, flashes, crossing over. And the damage will be done in the end. It's even a no-scope from MIQ, who is very much dove forward into that position. And with only 2 rounds left in the half, Komodo.
He's got that crosshair painted on his screen, so he knows exactly where them no-scopes are going to go.
Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's how it is.
Beautiful.
Nah, really well done from ATOX as well at the end there for the low members, not to overextend and give away any guns to force a reinvestment in this one, right? Because there's a couple rounds left in the half. You do want to make sure that you've just got every bit of money counted for to get all the weapons, to get all the utility as well, which I really do feel has been a little bit lacking for CW to go for a bunch of these close strategies in this round, in these rounds. Rooks has just extended out into mid by himself with no assistance. Yes, there is a trade, but can't help but feel like Rooks was done dirty.
Alrighty, having a little bit of a think here now. ATOX, definitely at the lower sort of position, but now with Zesta taking Ariukul, maybe there's an opportunity back. They've just smoked the elbow. But again, Dobu already forward thinking onto the side. MIQ going to rotate around. He's going to try and pick up that house position because they're still not 100% convinced as to where they're going. But Zesta wanting to try and join in. Gets one. News got dropped. Controls. Does get the trade. But back to a 2-on-2 again. Komodo. Damage. Oh, Dobu. He's sweating.
Got to swap guns here potentially, unless Dobu feels like he might have some timing to cut off their heads before they can get a rotate here. I mean, MIQ will spot that out from the house if you cheat through mid at the moment. But I do like this parking here. Collect the ticket eventually. Pay accordingly. Get into this B site if you are the Chinggis Warriors, because it does feel like that's where it's still going to end up. Single smoke and a Molotov. It does again come to the patience. What can Dobu actually do here? Because it really is a coin flip at the moment. If ATOX rotate towards A, they have to play a retake to B.
Taking time. Again, really just sort of having to think about what they want to do with this buddy system. 10 seconds. Bomb has to get planted and planted now. MIQ.
Oh,
leg shot. Dobu now with the 1v2. Going to be a real tricky one for him to try and do here. Not a hell of a lot of HP. Does have the kit. Does have the HE, which obviously E-Fire, they can pepper him up. But he's already down so far. Dobu, time really, really ticking here. Starting to get a little bit of a wriggle on here now, Komodo. But yeah, exactly right. What does he sort of want to do here? He's making quick work of it, but no smoke. He's all the way in. He's trying to clear now, and just a couple of warning shots. I think he has to pretty much bail, and he's out of there. So
Yeah,
no business this time round.
Looking for an exit kill because he knows that that would have been a resettable situation against the Chinggis Warriors for the next round, right? If you're removing these guns here, that is huge even if you're not winning the round. Which I mean, actually doesn't really mean much because it is going into the last round now. MR12 things.
MR12 things indeed. But 7-4, you know, look, 5, not impossible for Chinggis Warriors.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, it is a great sensational buy again for ATOX, right? Which is the bonus factor of a couple of rounds in surviving with all of the members. Mid control yet again going to be established by them, but when in doubt for CW, pushing towards the A site. They've been successful in doing this one twice already, and now this time they don't actually lose a member early on, Mitch, because no one was jiggle picking from ATOX.
Yeah, absolutely. 5-on-5 in full controls. Rook's getting a couple of frags here. And once again, it is a really, really tough retake. MIQ makes it potentially worthwhile. That's straight through the smoke in towards CT. Another warning shot rotation now coming in a long way from Cabal. Again, it's just so split up here. Damage dealt onto accuracy. Rook's firing some more shots through, but again, this long lurk news. He's really playing the long game here. He's got to get a bit of a move. Cabal trying to hit some further shots, but I think it should be a little bit too much for him to chew off right now as the flank comes in. Happy with that? 5, not too bad for Chinggis Warriors. We'll see if they can turn it around as they move on to the CT.
Days gone, I won't waste another one. Oh, that darkness, it won't set me back again. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Just shake the ground. Oh, this lightness, it will fill the air around. Oh, I'm not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape.
Looking pretty hectic there for a little bit. But ATOX, you know, they still hold on to the lead after a very, very strong start here on Ancient. Chinggis Warriors now looking to make their mark into this second half. 5 rounds, certainly doable on Ancient. So we'll have to see if the tides will turn in their favor or if the overflow will happen for ATOX.
Yeah, well, ATOX's T-side wasn't too shabby on Nuke earlier on, and so far so good for the start off and the trades extending out in towards this B-side.
Damn, son, already back and forth, and Zesta trying to turn it in his favor as well. Really lifting hard into this one. They want to walk away with a round opening as quickly as possible, and Nusu has been having a little bit of a roughie here. Unfortunately, has to park inside the house, and he's been locked out. Locked in the bathroom. Just like Mac, just like Pilski. But we do at least see one back as they do trade it out. But look, this round's done. There's nothing that they can really do about it. I mean, he still can't win it, but these are some pretty crispy looking shots. But it's Zesta with the 3K in the end.
Actually, really funny situations. I forgot about those ones. But yeah, you know, quick
common
little
Australian caster behavior, bro.
Locked in bathroom. Nicely done from ATOX. A good decision on the rush. Good shots to come out and ultimately good trades as well for their third pistol of the night. So they'll go 3-1 in the end. I mean, I can't even want to give them the pistol that they ended up losing in that 1 versus 2 over on Nuke, because then they answered back immediately in the second round, right? Funny thing, coming into a round such as this, MIQ bringing the old P90 as they rush in towards Bravo site, and there's nobody there. So Bravo, you've got a free B site.
Indeedy. Just a long rotate. A little bit of hope that they can make something work here. But again, I think it will very much just be the meat grinder. A little bit of nade damage for MIQ. It's going to have to, unfortunately, farm a few kills with that P90. Very, very challenging position for him to be in. He might even get the ace, but no, Dobu is going to take that one. 4 kills with the P90 for MIQ. And he has been the hard carry in this series, right? He was a bit of a nightmare on Nuke for Chinggis Warriors. And now on this map of Ancient, he's just doing bits. And all I can say is, again, where the hell was this ATOX at Extremes Land, right? You know, they make it to the grand final, but this just looks like such a confident team. Maybe it's just the amount of times they play against Chinggis Warriors, I suppose, but...
Potentially. I mean, you know, different form, different vibes. So many different things to factor in. It's another rush, though, this time going over towards the A site.
Okay. I see you, News. Dobu and Cabal have to now do it all themselves. I like that from Dobu. Forcing all his way through. If he's able to find this additional kill onto E-Fire. At the very least, though, he's found the site. I like the position that we are going to see a quick rotate up towards window. But at least he's been able to isolate the 1v1. So where does he try to take this initial fight? He's heading down towards long. I think he surely will expect something. But he's not looking. E-Fire, great rounds. Same for Muse as well. But I mean, Chinggis Warriors cling to dear life.
There's good damage in that round from Chinggis Warriors. I think, sorry, from ATOX. I think that's a positive that's going to be going their way, right? The fact that they get 3 kills. Draw out a bunch of that utility as well. It's going to mean a couple of lesser equipped players on this CC side coming in towards the next round, where you yourselves as well are not looking too crash hot in the form of what Accuracy and Cabal are going to be able to purchase up. So we'll see how potent it is actually going to be. Always such is the early stages of a half. I am seeing that the AWP, at least in possession of controls nice and early on this CT side. Mitch is what's going to potentially give them a strong showing here. Lots of utility being dumped in through towards mid to extend a further position. Squandered.
Oof. Yeah. Really rough there to be dying in that way. Poor Rooks trying to fight the good fight, but it's Dobu who's really punching down. It was a bit slow on this map so far of Ancient, but, you know, looking hot on Nuke. It's no surprise that he's picking back up now. You know, the whole team's sort of been doing the heavy lifting. Good shot from Ariukal, but Again, that kind of gives some information away. Now it's really onto controls to try and split the wickets here. But again, moving down mid. If Ariukul gets the catch onto accuracy, maybe there's a world where they can do this. They push in towards mid now. They can pick up some weapons. And MIQ has to try and get on towards this line. MIQ paints the early plant. And now with the information gathered, a good flash across towards CT. So ATOX have set themselves up well in this post plant, but the flank in from Ariukul could be a big one.
Yeah, well, they got to potentially just keep your eyes on towards this one, and that's exactly what MIQ is doing. A flash that Dobu can throw over to the site to assist him if they need.
Good shots. And controls. He's out of there. So nothing he can do. Has to, again, walk away, save the AWP. Yeah, I don't know. This has been a little bit of a roughie from Chinggis Warriors. I feel like it's been, you know, pretty close in some of these rounds where they've had some opportunities, but ATOX, again, are just looking like the better team right now, and it's even with only, like, you know, 3 or 4 members kind of playing super hot. You know, Accuracy's had a really quiet series. You know, Zesta wasn't all there in Nuke either, so ATOX, even when not all the individuals are performing, are still looking like a way better unit than Chinggis Warriors right now.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, those are the rounds that if you are the guys over on the Chinggis Warriors, you kind of need to be winning in the grand scheme of things, right? Like, you put a big premium on potentially going for that early mid battle. It doesn't work out. You now transition into this new round, which you take an AWP over, and it does actually warrant a opening kill. So if you can draw a little bit of a containment field now around what's happening over at B, you might still around that.
Fire. All right, there's one. Another for controls as well. MIQ and Dobu, though, not done. They have managed to pull the rotate pretty heavily over, though, as they drop back into Cheetah. Now, again, Chinggis Warriors will have to question a little bit of spacing as they rotate all the way around. Just leaving News inside house. It's just those pistols, though, that are rotating away. The rifles sit towards B still.
I think importantly in these sort of positions as the Chinggis Warriors, you're just playing to the numbers, right? AWP, prime line at the moment. Rooks as well, a smoke to buy a little bit of time, or a bailout strategy if he needs. 45 seconds to go. You don't really need to see too much budging from anyone over at this B site when you're locking down both entryways. Mid is spotting. You use that smoke as Rooks just to buy a bit of cautionary time in case there is a little bust out towards the A site. So Chinggis Warriors know what they need to do in this situation.
Controls the line. They shoulder this out. Maybe there's a world, but no. Dobu straight into the crosshair. News now as well. MIQ has to try and clutch out this 1v4, and I think Controls is going to be straight back onto that one. So, game not done just yet, Komodo. That's the main thing, right? Chinggis Warriors holding on to 7. Money now, decent. They win that kind of quasi half-buy save looking thingo, and well, it's a bit of an eco again for ATOX now. It's their first one in this half so far that they're going to have to take the knee. So let's see if Chinggis Warriors can capitalize on this and bring it back in their favor.
Well, potentially. I mean, it would be great for them if they're able to at least start to roll a couple of rounds on this CT side to give them some breathing room if they do drop one here or there. Yeah, you never want to really contend with an overtime situation, of course. These are the rounds as well for them that they should be winning with all 5 alive. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. Early mid control again. Refresh a bit of this extra utility. Wait for a flash and smoke bust out towards this A site. Good timing on the smoke, actually. Will make ATOX consider how far forward they want to go. But no, they're actually just going to send it.
Rooks. Not bad at all. Able to lock it down nice and easily. Whoa! That final shot on the Cabal.
Squatted.
Nice and crispy. Yeah, just clay pigeon shooting through the smoke. So now to the difference. Everyone sort of a bit more of an effort by committee on the side of Chinggis Warriors, I will say. Not everyone positive just yet, but, you know, it steps forward, 1 foot in front of the other. Always a nice thing to see, and that's actually forced ATOX to take a tactical there. So clearly they're putting the pressure on.
Yeah, I mean, you got to consider what your buy is going to look like in a round such as this as well. So having a couple of extra crucial seconds when you've got them available is not a bad idea. Down to a Galil, down to a Mac 10. Potentially starting to feel like you're giving the Chinggis Warriors a way in which they can get back in towards this game. I mean, I highlighted it in the previous one, right? You want to see them kind of be surviving with 5 players. 4 is definitely still a bit of a pass mark there when you're retaining the expensive guns, when you're retaining some of that utility and the kits and the Kevlars. So really well placed out for the Chinggis Warriors to double down against this lesser buy as well, right? Because if they are finding this one, that should essentially be double digits achieved, tied scoreline. Your money's, you know, really good. You're getting confidence. You're getting momentum. Those are the sort of closing scenarios that a map can be seen with when you have those things rolling. Oh.
Hell of a lot of damage there. And again, it's just straight out there from News. And Rooks here has been looking awesome. Jesus Christ. Rooks has just picked up the pieces these last few rounds. Dobu does try to at least make something work, but he's only found News. And with the position of E-Fire, well, I don't know. This is Chinggis Warriors starting to look a little bit scary. Obviously, only a gentle investment from ATOX, but 1 round the difference now, Komodo. This has completely shifted.
Yeah, this is where we kind of want to see a little bit more settling down from ATOX, right? Don't try to bully their way in through towards mid. They don't have a layering of this utility to try and really gain control of that location. We saw what success was with these A rushes previously on, even their pistol round. They attempted to go on out and Rooks shut that one down. I wouldn't actually mind just a nice little spread default from ATOX to bait out a bit of this utility from the Chinggis Warriors and then act accordingly for a bit of a hit. I mean, we're already getting a good telltale sign of how Chinggis Warriors are throwing this utility early around the map match. A lot towards the mid bend, mollies and smokes, same over towards ramp and doors.
I like that from Dobu. Getting an early one. Again, he was a pivotal member of this team on Nuke to get quite a solid-looking win. 13-7 that one was, if I need to remind you all watching along at home. And now, again, with just 1 round of difference, Dobu will fall. Great shots so far from News, but this is the thing. Those Deagles can be packed with a punch. Zesta hitting another. Ooh. He also spots the footsteps, controls, taking him down. Zesta able to pick up the AWP now. Accuracy has to try and split the wickets here, but Ariuka will drop him. Now back to a 2-on-3. Zesta tagged up a little bit, but happy to hold that line still from Temple. E-Fire trying to get his way back in here as well. He knows the flanks coming through from MIQ. Must have heard a footstep. Must have heard a little bit of a push forward. MIQ, though, drops him. And Harry Ukel, 1 versus 3. Gets the smoke onto the bomb. Has the kit here. Komodo can walk his way in, trying to creep onto this defuse. Zesta rotating around, but it's not going to happen. Cabal closing the door for the round. ATOX hold on to 11.
No guns get the job done, essentially, here, Mitch. When I'm saying that, yeah, it should be a tied scoreline 10-10, you know. Those shots from those Deagles absolutely working a treat for ATOX, and just that little engagement at the end there. When we're thinking that MIQ's position's known, and he's only got a Deagle, right? He should be dead to rights. It should be a 2 versus 2. Good retake from the Chinggis Warriors. The fact that MIQ wins that duel gets Zesta out of that sticky situation where he was stuck and the round is closed. That is a heater of a round for ATOX to transition into this new round where, again, we're seeing the same sort of utility from the Chinggis Warriors being dumped in terms of these incendiaries in through mid, over through the B ramp. You wait those out, and then you act accordingly.
Buy the time. Play the money game. Because basically this one, and it's pretty much curtains closed if ATOX pull it ahead.
Should be for all the marbles, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But at least Chinggis Warriors have made this one competitive, right? As I said, you know, this is a pretty solid team fighting for that kind of 3-4 spot, you know, behind ATOX alongside IHC. You know, consider the Huns maybe in the play there too.
Well, here's the utility that starts to come out from ATOX. Good flash over towards the donut. Good incendiary. Molly as well is going to start to shake things up over there and force some reactive utility from them. Make things a little bit more tricky for the guys over at this B side as well, who start to get a little bit off put. But what's the decision now from ATOX? The flashes to juggle around the team, the smokes as well. 30 seconds to go. Majority of CW's force is at the right location.
30 seconds. Not really a hell of a lot of time to get moving now for ATOX as they walk up long. It's pretty dry outside these smokes. Ariuko, fantastic position. But he does get taken down around the pillar. Forward thinking, though, from E-Fire. Traded by accuracy. So 3 versus 3 now. Bomb will be planted. Rotation up from window. Rooks drops accuracy. Round very much still on here. 2 versus 2 as Cabal, MIQ, get it back. It's all in the Rooks on the line. I think MIQ might even find this. No, narrowly missing it, forced off the line. But in the end, Cabal will close the round. And it's the 2 heroes here. 23 and 12, 19 and 13. And a map and series and evening point for ATOX. Looking to make this night a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, they really shouldn't have been able to get in towards that B site when you consider how much utility that they actually did have. But it just comes down to the positional layering as well. And the fact that the Chinggis Warriors didn't know how far they'd crept up the ramp into the site before they actually got into the damn site. Someone had already pushed away, you know, far deep in towards it. And by then it was too little too late. So really well done by ATOX. Again, great utility positioning on this T site to draw out a lot from the Chinggis Warriors, who, in what might be the last round of this map of this series for tonight, Mitch, don't have a lot to play with. Caught him.
Chess mark.
In
from 50 out.
I was more going for the Pokeball roll, but, you know, that works too.
Yeah. Don't mind it.
If it was an Aussie league, yeah, okay, yeah.
Fair.
Yeah, old mate Zester's pushed his way all the way up through house, by the way. Refreshing a smoke.
Not a bad spot to be in. Keeping them interested at the very least, but I don't think they're going to be ready for 3 members here. Also, Controls is up very close, and if he's holding this line with the AWP as well, he's been hitting some shots. So that's Zester gone. All that control lost in the mix. And it's an advantage going back the way of Chinggis Warriors, meaning that whilst the plant's going to go down by the hands of Dobu, the game's not done yet.
It's all guns as well from this moment on.
Time really ticking now. Smoke's fading. Smoke up for Cave. Smoke up for Long. A little bit of damage done. MIQ manages to drop one with the wall bang. They're inside the cave. Dobu gets it. MIQ another. It's all on the Cabal. And he's going to go for the hard spray. They're onto the defuse though, Komodo. Can he get to the other little bit? Can he swing around? Oh, no! 8 points of HP for Rooks. 10 for E-Fire. And Cabal was almost the hero that nobody deserved.
Oh, he was just spraying a little bit too far to the left. Eventually, the tail end of that recoil pattern gets him down at 8, as you mentioned. And E-File, you know, he's trying to body block at the end to potentially make him think he's off the defuse. But at that point, Cabal's just spraying for the rest of the round. Like, there's no point not to. Real unfortunate. A bloody lifeline yet again for the Chinggis Warriors, who doubled down on the AWP scenario coming towards this round here.
Alrighty, well, all I can say is, are we going to be going to overtime?
No way.
MIQ.
He has something to say about that.
Yeah, for sure. He wants to deny it. He wants an early night. News does get the response back, but again, 3-on-3.
And what do you do here?
MIQ, he's on for 30 if he keeps going.
Oh, the timing from Rooks, though. He is not shying away from this one whatsoever. A dunk on towards MIQ, as you mentioned it, and now it's Dobu against the boomsticks of News, who we mentioned, not too shabby, picking up this secondary AWP position, but controls. He's the one.
Dobu, he's been playing Counter-Strike for a hell of a long time. Might actually split the house smoke. He will. Don't know how much audio he's heard, though. He will get the info now.
He's throwing a lot of his own utility, so that's masking a bit from what Dobu had, so it gives him some precious seconds to be able to get the plant.
Double ult retake, too. Dobu, if he buys his timing right, Controls is going to walk close. This is going to be a really hard duel for him to find.
No scope.
I like where it's going to come down. Yeah, it was shotgun AWP, irrespective, right? We're just going to let it simmer. Let that smoke fade. Shotgun AWP misses. Dobu in the clutch now. Has to try and swing around from the corner to flash up. He might bait the shot in. And he goes. He pulls. And it's Dobu, the hero here, Komodo, to close it out. The 1v3 from the big man. 13-10 will be your scoreline on Ancient. A successful evening for ATOX here for ESL Challenger League Asia. Season 49. I can't believe we're edging closer towards Season 50. That's crazy to think about, but I remind you all watching along at home, the winner of this season does get a slot at ESL Pro League. I believe it's Season 22 at this point in time. It's Season 21 in Sweden coming up shortly. So very excited for pretty much everything that's all sort of happening right now. But yeah, nicely done from ATOX. I think they're going to be happy with that. Albeit, it did get a little bit close for comfort on Ancient.
Yeah, I definitely thought, ATOX could have closed that one out a little bit earlier on, but the Chinggis Warriors certainly held on in that round that, they sticking out that defuse and protecting everybody. Cabal just can't get it done. Maybe even thought we were getting some overtime in towards the mix to close it out. It wouldn't be too mad about that. But I think all in all, the Mongolian scene at the moment is looking pretty damn hot in this Asia Pacific League at the moment. I'm really excited to see which team is actually going to come on top. Speaking of controls, you picked him for our Katia player to watch tonight, Mitch, and he actually didn't play too damn bad, did he?
Yeah, exactly. For a losing team, as I said, it's like eyes on a player to watch, right? It doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be the MVP. It needs to be the highest performing player. It's just someone who I've got my eye on, right? The newest player in the Chinggis Warriors roster, a org that can, sort of put a little bit of firepower together. And with that core 3 of IHC, it's just really where it sort of ends up, right? I think it's all coming together for them. But again, they just need some more time in the oven to make it all work. But in the end, 23-30, not a bad result across the 2 maps, especially that he did get a little bit slapped around on Nuke. I felt like with a T-sided start, it's always hard to run over with that AWP. So good run from him, but this is the standings on your screen now, Komodo, as to what we see.
Yeah.
Obviously, again, games are still going on right now, and it's been a hell of a lot happening right now in the night.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to even just, while this is up for everybody to have a look at, touch upon some of the good outstanding results, just as I've got them up on my screen. The Huns managed to answer back against THE, so they went 1-1 each for the night. Linvision had a good night by getting a 2-0, 13-6 and 13-9 there. Rare Adam actually dropping to -72 for that secondary map, so they as well.
Oh my
a bit
God,
of struggles
what?
having a 1-1 for the night. Yeah, Tyloo had an overtime as well in the mix for their first game. They're still playing their second one at the moment versus Just Swing. So we're getting a little bit of shakeups here coming in towards tonight, which is always going to be a possibility. God's Reign as well. I mentioned that I'm keeping an eye on them as the India represent coming in towards this one. They got their first map, against the Cube done and dusted for tonight. They're currently still playing the second one, currently trailing though to the Cube. So having a lot of shakeups where we're not just having 2-0s, right? We're having some 1-1s.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the way it should be, right? As we sort of talked about, 2025 should be an exciting year for Asian Counter-Strike. As a general statement, we've got big teams. We've got ESL Pro League coming up with, I think it's like 6 Asia-Pacific teams in it, which is just nuts to think about, and it's just going to be a good year. So whilst this competition is hot to trot, we've got some new teams to keep our eye on. We've got some existing rosters to see where they go. Roster Mania still continues. But from us, from Konkmodo, I hope you had an absolute pleasure with us here this evening on ESL Challenger League. I'm sure we'll be back on the show just around the bend, Komodo. But for now, take care, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Think you've seen it all? With Faceit Watch's Point of View Selector, you can experience the game from any pro's perspective. Use the multi-view feature and customize the stream with up to 4 angles. Control what points you see while earning rewards. Drops are activated and lucky winners will receive Faceit points. And if you ever miss a match, VODs are now available. Get instant access to demos with multiple POVs and commentary. Watch it, control it, face it.
We're not the only ones.
They told me that's so overrated. Yeah, if you make one, you will fall. Too much of a temptation. Yeah, there's a comfort in the crawl. Now I've been on my feet too long. I know I'm strong, just looking for some solid ground, so I can start to run. I don't wanna be tired, moving so bad, right. I don't wanna be tired, feels like it's my time. I don't need your light. Don't you waste your time. Don't you waste your time. Don't you waste your
Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe.